Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. My name is Abhishek and I am the IoT market analyst and core member of the business development team at Factana. So let me start with a brief introduction on who we are. Factana is a cognitive IoT company specialized in industrial automation. We provide industrial IoT solution to small and medium businesses. So in this webinar, we will be focusing on Industry 4.0, the current challenges and IoT solutions. So the webinar will be presented by Mr. Hariharan, who is the founder and chief architect of Factana. So Hari, over to you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Hello everyone, good afternoon and good morning if you are connecting from Western region. It's an exciting time for all of us as we are crossing the most significant pandemic on the world. We see this as an opportunity for next revolution on the humankind, and the way that the industry is impacted because of this lockdown and the virus infection things. The world is going to change. A lot of changes going to happen across our business, our personal, and also global trade level, right? So we expect a lot of changes that's going to happen, and the industry 4.0 so far it has been more of a theory for Western region, but now it is highly practically possible thing or must needed thing for across global industries. That's the confident and need that every market leaders are predicting to move into industry 4.0. So, of course, I know Abhishek talked about briefly about Factana. Just to take one more step into that, as he mentioned, we are industrial IoT specialist. We focus more on industrial IoT platform and SaaS applications. We have our own industrial IoT platform that we built for SMB market. We also provide software-based solutions to our SMB customers on a SaaS model, and our innovation, is more towards IoT, and we continue to invest and innovate newer solutions, cheaper solutions, faster solutions to our SMB customers. Our product and portfolios are branded as a Fogwing, and there are various products that we have released. We are working on a most significant product going to come in very pretty soon for the industry 4.0 use cases, which is labeled here as a Fogwing effect. With that, with a brief introduction, we are moving into, let's talk about industry 4.0, right? Of course, probably you have seen this before, but let's talk about a little, source of this, right? So industry 4.0, what is this and how this is going to change the world, right? Or change the world the industry is operating today. If you look at the history on 18th century, when the innovation happens on the steam and water powered engines, right? It changed the way that industry were operating. Industry were operating as a more manual, complete manual, 100% manual, less productive environment. The sooner the innovation happen on the steam engine, the factories are built to deliver products faster with the help of mechanical production model. So the mechanical production model introduced on the 18th century as an innovation of the steam engines. If you look at the second largest major innovation happened on the innovation of electricity. When the electricity innovated, and that created a lot of impacts in the industry market. The first power generator produced in 20th century, early 20th century, which triggered a lot of industries to transform from the steam engine based mechanical production to electricity based or power based mass production engine. So this is where the mass production started with the line with assembly line, the same assembly line that we still live on, and we're still working on that, but it will be more automated. That's where the industry 3.0, which started early on 1970s when the microcontroller and programming innovation happened. Every system is trying to equip with computerized, either small microcontroller, to control the systems in more automated way. So the automation of automated production model started early 70 as the innovation of microcontroller programming. But what we are talking about Industry 4.0 is way beyond that. Now, this is something a completely new area. It's not about physical things. So far, the last three innovation and revolutions are more physical change. But the fourth industrial revolution is more digital change. What is mean by digital change, right? We always, we use smartphones, right? We use today smartphones for our living and day in, day out, right? We use smartphones even for ordering food, tracking our, the taxi services, or even, communicating to friends and families. Everything we use smartphones. When you place an order, even for a small food, right? For evening food, when you place an order, you place the order in your digital phones, right? As easy as that. But a simple one meal that you are placing order in your smartphone and waiting for the delivery, and you are able to track it where your food is there on the road, and when or how soon it's going to be delivered. Such easy sophistication that we got it in our basic needs, right? At the same time, we invested money in our factories where we don't know what is really happening at the real time, right? And this is the biggest gap in between what we are living in a smart world and what we are doing as an industry, right? And this gap will be fulfilled by the Industry 4.0. The Industry 4.0 is the cyber physical system that connects the physical assets that we have in our factories, in our machineries, in our business, to the digital world that we are familiar right now with, and we connecting both of them together, and that creates a biggest connection between our systems and us, and that's going to help us more easier for us to understand how our business is operating in terms of or the production line is operating, our manufacturing is happening, and where is our supply chain, where is our product on the floor, what is our inventory level at this time, how our planning has been prepared, how our assembly line has been prepared, and what is our production capacity right now, how the production is happening right now, and what is the quality has been delivered right now, how much is quality, and how much is the actual product that we completed, how much we can deliver to our customer, what is in our inventory stock, our stock, the finished goods stock, and how we can deliver it, how fast we can deliver it, how quickly we can deliver it. All of them we could connect and gather and track with the help of the digital interfaces. Either it's as simple as mobile phone or in the mode, right? And not only that, such level of physical connections, the machine cannot talk today. We only need to observe the machines, right? But once we connected with the physical machineries, assets, the system could generate plenty of data about its inner sense. And such level of sensing informations can be analyzed and predicting on how the machine is behaving. This is the way that machine can speak to us. This is the way the machine that keep running and keep creating money for us can speak to us. And that's the big innovation happening right now across the world at the large scale level, especially on the bigger, larger industry market. But how this change? Is it one simple technology change, or is it a simple, or is it one change, or one technology change? Not really, right? It's an innovation of multiple technologies that pull together to give such a level of power to the missionaries and us to connect with, right? And one of them, the major one on the contribution, is Internet of Things. The Internet of Things are connecting the physical things. That's the foundation of the Industry 4.0. When we try to connect to the physical assets within our factory, we need a way to connect to that, right? The industrial Internet of Things is the foundation for that. But not only that, we need a way to accommodate it, right? It's not about going and changing your manufacturing asset and then bringing a new connected asset. And the cost of investment will be very high, and the change in the process also is expensive. So sensors plays a major role here to connect to our existing physical systems, existing assets, without any major modifications. So embedded sensors or the inbuilt sensors or externalized sensors. Such sensors are available today, which can connect to your existing physical systems to understand how your system is behaving on a different conditions. And what is my change, right? What is my impact on that? Yes, you can typically in a manufacturing or industrial cases where we need to go and identify the plan change, identify the assembly line changes or workflow changes, and incorporate that into the SCADA systems or other systems. That's a time consumption process, right? And after that, we may not know the result. Maybe it works efficiently, maybe it takes more time to produce it. So we need to do the trial run, dry run and all to understand that. The whole idea of doing that implementation and learning is going to cost a lot, and it's already costing a lot, right? And this can be replaced by the digital twins. Digital twins are a way to simulate the change in the production line to understand what would be the impact on the production line without physically changing, digitally changing that with the help of the technology, and see that how this change will impact. The existing data that you collect from your systems are going to helpful on the digital twins by applying those data into the simulator and creating a model that works for you. And then it can be applied to your physical changes. That way you confidently know that this is going to help you to improve your production line processes. The robotics, already robotics are there, right? So large industries are using robots to handle the heavy lifting things, especially car manufacturing, the well-known car manufacturing, where heavy lifting is impossible by human. Robotics plays a major role, but this is going to change. This is going to add more into the existing systems itself. It's not about replacing human with robots. It's about enhancing human lives to be more focused on more important than doing the heavy lifting stuff, right? So, and that's where the industrial robotics are going to play. The smaller robots, the humanoid robots, are going to play a major role in increasing the productivity, helping humans faster to accomplish the task and things like that. Most important player on that on another technology improvement is the artificial intelligence. By not only collecting the data from the machineries, right? Identifying the machine's pattern, I understand the machine's language of what it speaks through data. That needs to be identified and then added with the intelligence and action to be taken, right? Such level of intelligence gathering, analysis, and identification could happen with the help of the advanced technologies such as big data processing and artificial intelligence. These kind of software-based technologies are highly helpful to analyze the situations faster and react to these situations faster. But what means in terms of the connectivity, right? So connectivity is very important. Okay, sensor is there physically, though we can connect through Internet of Things, we can collect the data, we can do the thing. But how fast we can do that? That's where the communication is playing a major role on this transformation. Mobility and 5G connections, right? The existing mobility connections, the accessibility of data anywhere, and the 5G connections, the speed of data transfer is going to create a bigger impact in terms of the data availability at the real-time spaces. Anywhere across in the world, we can do it. Today in the pandemic, all the factories were closed, and employees were, are locked down and staying. This created a lot of impact economically for the manufacturer as well as on the employees because they are all not working in the job and they are not getting paid and things like that, right? And all of this is because we don't have access to our physical systems. Even though we are locked down at home, we don't have access to our physical systems. We have access to our restaurants to place the order, but we don't have access to our $1 million invested business, right? And that's a big sad thing, and that can be addressed with the help of communication, the faster communication. The future of Industry 4.0 is going to be remotely managed manufacturing systems. Need not be physically there to operate the systems. The systems can be managed remotely, controlled by remotely, and automated by from remotely, is with the help of faster communication channels. And that's what the transformation is going to be driven by the 5G network. Cybersecurity. All of these are good, but how about security, right? So I don't want to expose my core business accessible from anywhere. It's going to create a lot of panic for me. And that's where the advancement in cybersecurity playing a major role in terms of, ensuring that all these technologies are work together securely with uh, our manufacturing processes. Finally, the augmented reality, which is another way of looking at the changes, right? Even before physically we apply that, moving assets from place to place, or planning on the assets, right? And keeping that smaller space but more productive space. All these virtual, planning and execution possible with the help of augmented reality. So all these technologies, all these eight key technologies are going to play a major role on the transforming the industry that we are currently operating and making that industry as more accessible, information available, adding intelligence into that, and taking a decision faster, even simulating that faster and changes faster, and helping us to improve the way that we operate in our business. Isn't the theory part, is it industries 4.0 is the theory or is it practical? As we are seeing, as we are seeing the current market, according to markets and markets report, this is truly a practical things happening across the industry. If you look at the statistic from 2016 to 2020 today, majority of the changes are happening on the Northern and European region, North American and European region, where the adoption level is higher as the market is fully focused on the North American Europe market. This is all about industry, manufacturing industry. This has to go and create a major impact on the APAC region. So, according to the market predictions, this is going to be a significant change in the APAC region because APAC region manufacturing assemblies, small manufacturing companies or medium-sized manufacturing companies, traditionally follow um, the traditional manufacturing process or more manual manufacturing processes. And for them, this is a huge transformation. This is a huge transformation for them because they are right now completely on a manual mode, right? And making them into automated mode, then from there making them into cyber physical mode is a two-phase jump for them. But this is going to be a bigger opportunity in the APAC region for all the manufacturing and small manufacturing companies to go to the global market and compete with other industries, right? And they have to adapt it. The larger companies already adapted and working, operating very well. The success of the Industry 4.0 is not just a theory; it is practically is possible. Or already, companies who have already done that are Teslas and Boeing, Siemens, and things like that. They're all already completed or in the phase of transformation, and they're all almost successfully completed the way that they have transformed their business. And the results, you can see that how the growth of Tesla and and Boeing and things like that. So two major technologies are going to play a major role on this. Two key technologies are going to play a major role on this. The industrial IoT is definitely the foundation for this Industry 4.0 as making things to connect. And the second most thing is the industrial robotics. The robotics are there, but they are heavily used for heavy lifting purpose, but the next upcoming robots are going to be handling the smaller and the smallest portion of the process, and they are going to help to speed up the process or manufacturing production line plans. So that's the way the market is predicting, and that's the way the trend is happening. Now, the pandemic is going to give a completely different race on that, and every companies are expected to be jumping into the transformation to handle the manufacturing, especially remote manufacturing. This is a new coin that part of Industry 4.0 that's going to boom the market completely. But how industrial IoT, right? Connecting to the machineries or asset is one portion of that, right? How that is going to help the industrial IoT concept, right? And how it is going to help in Industry 4.0. Especially, it's going to be the foundation, but at the same time, it's going to drive a lot of value to the by the way of data, right? The purpose of connecting to things is to understand what things are speaking, right? The things can create plenty of data, and each and every incident that things goes through, the machineries goes through, the assets goes through, and that can give a lot of informative to us, which we may not understand today. Number one, applying industry IoT across that means connecting all the assets within the industry, right, is going to give the end-to-end visibility of how the whole production line or from the supply chain to the delivery line, operating on our business. That's going to give a lot of operational visibility. The operational visibility is going to create a lot of innovations in thinking about a newer way of making the operations, and that also ended up in operational efficiency. So more than 50% of the value will be on the operational efficiency. Industry 4.0 is all about improving the operational business operations, right? It's all about improving business operations by leveraging the technology, the innovation, the modern technology available. However, that operational efficiency is completely more than 50% is driven by the industry IoT itself. The second major one, if the operations are efficient, automatically the productivity is increasing, the number of products being utilized, the asset utilization is increasing, creating a new opportunity to align the production plan or execution to improve that, or new business opportunity to scale up or introducing new product opportunities. So all of them are the side effect of these changes, right? These are the changes because of the efficiency increase. When we know that we can manufacture 100 plastic boxes, right, in within a timeline, we could leverage our assets, increase the asset utilization, and that resulted in better productivity, right? All of them are efficiency. It's all completely possible with the help of industrial IoT things, because it's not about industrial IoT is going to increase the production. Industrial IoT is going to collect the data and give it to you for you to understand how your machineries are working. Once you understand that, you know that how to control that. If you need intelligence support, yes, of course, artificial intelligence is there to help you to identify the way that you can streamline your business or production processes. So the top three things, right? We talked about asset, we talked about operation, productivity, and maintenance. Let's talk about each one in a little more deeper. Industrial IoT is all about connecting to your machineries, right? Connecting to your machineries. So IoT sensors, the industry grade sensors, helps to monitor the asset or the machinery utilizations at real time, because the data is coming at real time from the systems. As long as the data is coming real time, we could understand the data and we can take a look at how much utilization is happening. Is my asset is in production right now, or is it in idle state, or is it consuming energy but it is not it's not producing anything, or is it in halt, right? Or is it in stop, or is it in mechanical problem? So we can identify that quickly, faster with the help of the sensors by tracking the assets. Number two is on the operations, right? having a connectors on all the touch points in your the overall manufacturing process or your end-to-end business process. If you have touch points to measure that from your supply chain, from your suppliers manufacturing, right, subcontractor manufacturing, if you start tracking from there and what is their manufacturing capacity and what is their current production, you could plan your inventory level, the raw material inventory level or suppliers inventory level, and you can plan your production operations accordingly. You don't need to wait for your production operations, to halt your production operation while your supplier is about to supply that. And by tracking those informations at real time, by connecting your business process or operating process with your supplier processes, with the help of connecting the Internet of Things, help you to understand not only your landscape but also your supplier's landscape and their capability and the speed of delivery and things like that. That's going to improve a lot of operational efficiency, a lot of operational improvement, right? And as a result of the asset utilization, better asset utilization, better operations, that automatically geared up the productivity, right? That automatically increase the productivity and resulted in a better production out of your existing assets. Today, some of the market predictions, some of the metrics shows that many manufacturers are operating only at 55% of their asset utilization. Remaining 45% of the assets, either they are not capable of utilizing that, or they are not in productive state, or they are in a maintenance state or something like that, unplanned maintenance state or something like that. So this is very critical for us to understand the utilization of asset and the operational way to increase our productivity. The same capacity that we have today could produce double the volume of the production. That's where this whole process is going to add value. But measuring all of them, right? It's all good for current operating model. But what happens to my assets? How I can understand, how I know that my production will not be halted or my production will not be stopped due to some maintenance issues, unplanned maintenance issues. And again, you need to listen to the mission, right? If the mission speaks, we need to understand that. And the mission may say that I have a problem, internal problem. Mission may say that I have my screws are loosened, or my power consumption is lower, or my power consumption is higher. So we don't know that. We are not listening that. We just looking at that. We don't understand what they go through, right? And that's where the connected sensors are going to play a major role in terms of understanding what the machine is going through. And that resulted in how we can operate the machine, what level of efficiency the machine is operating, and what needs to be done. The continuous monitoring of that information and the continuous monitoring of the maintenance cycles helps to predict the maintenance. So this is very common, most easy result of industrial IoT is to predict the maintenance effort. Either it's upcoming maintenance support or unplanned maintenance support. We need to understand that even before it happens, right? So that's where the industrial IoT or sensors are going to play a major role in understanding the machine and then predicting when the machine needs services. All theories are good, but practical. There are a lot of challenges in practically, right? Large companies as large manufacturers like GE, Boeing, they have team capability, wealth, money to implement or enforce the Industry 4.0. What happened to the small medium business, the manufacturer who has 300 employees, two manufacturing plants? How they are going to have how they are going to adapt it? This is for them. It's more of theory, right? For them, they cannot do that. They cannot buy this. This may be good for big companies. That's the thought process, right? Why this thought process? Because there are a lot of significant, cultural changes has to happen, right? This is a transformation. This is not a change. This is a transformation, not only in the manufacturing process, but also in the human mindset, right? We need to change. So, what are the factors that affecting the SMBs to take the step towards Industry 4.0 adoption? If they are not adapting, the bigger, larger companies are definitely going to take over that, right? It's the Industry 4.0 is not just for larger manufacturers. This is very, very important for small and medium business to adapt it to make better productivity, because they are the suppliers to larger manufacturers, of course, right? So they have to start accepting it. Number one, awareness. There's a plenty of gap in terms of awareness, understanding the technology. It's very complex. Tech companies can understand that, but manufacturers may not have knowledge or awareness about the technology changes happening in the tech industry, right? So they need to understand that. So lack of awareness is the biggest gap, number one gap that we have to address it. Change of concern, right? A lot of times, second most significant challenge is the change of concern. Anything we try to change from the existing process, there will be a significant opposition on that. So change has to be accommodated. The pandemic has changed us a lot. Why not we change for a better living, right? That's where we need to have open-minded to accommodate the new changes. And the current scenario is going to enforce that to us. The change is the biggest concern for many operators. And visibility, right? Market visibility. What is happening in the western side may not be aware of the APAC region. What is happening in the APAC region may not be aware of the western side until unless they are all working together in a specific business model. So lack of global visibility, lack of what is happening on the other side of the world, how the industry is moving, are the other significant challenges. Similarly, lack of technology knowledge, lack of innovation ideas. Most important is the investment. When we talk about Industry 4.0, we talked about this as a big change, right? But when we say big change, obviously it indicates that it's a big investment. So obviously everybody will panic on that, especially small and medium business will panic on that. Oh, should I do that? Because they're all running in a lower operating margin, right? And they may not be able to do the bigger bites, right? So and they need to have a cost-effective way to accommodate. They love to accommodate these kind of changes, but at the same time, they may not have a sufficient funding to accommodate that, as they are all operating in a smaller margin. Now, that's another important challenge that we have in adoption of Industry 4.0. Security is another major challenge for everyone to consider concern. This is a bigger concern on that. It's not just a challenge, it's concern. But this can be addressed with the help of technology. As we see, the cybersecurity has been improved a lot compared to last few years. Now, change in manufacturing process. Many of them are running in manual production operating model, more like a human intended model. If we talk about cyber physical connection between that, where is that physical is there? Because everything primarily happening on manual, right, with the help of human. So where the physical is there, right? So this is another significant for companies operating on the manual mode. It's going to be double jump for them to move into the cyber physical world. But there is a way to identify where we need to invest it, where we need to change in the asset, where we don't need to invest it, change in the asset. Until unless you read the pulse of the machines, you may not understand that. The very first thing is to be connecting and collecting the data. First, to collect the data and understand what is happening in your manufacturing plants. So, what is going on there and how things are happening. Understand that. Then we can talk about transformation changes, right? We right now we don't even know fully on what is happening there. So the very first thing is uh, to connect and collect the data, right? That's very, very important to understand that. That gives a lot of visibility to us in terms of what is the current performance on my manufacturing floors. And significantly, to think about how we can go to the market faster, right? As a result of all of this, we would, these are the challenges that we have in front of Industry 4.4 transformation. And we know that it is going to add significant value, but we also know that there are a lot of challenges in the mindset to accommodate it. And those challenges we need to come across. How we are going to address it. Three key things that we should do from the industry side of that. to make the SMBs to accommodate it, to make the SMBs to understand and adopt these kind of a technology changes. Number one, cost effective. Number one biggest challenge for them is the cost of accommodation, right? They love to change, but they don't know whether that is going to take their entire business or is it how much they have to go to invest on that. So cost effective solution is highly important to help the SMBs to accommodate it. Large companies have some wealth to invest in billions to change for the transformation, but smaller companies cannot invest that. So they need a cost-effective solution. Either we're talking about IoT solution or sensor solution or digital data solution. All these technologies should be available at a cost-effective way to them and easy to use that. The easy to use leads into simplification, right? They are not a tech companies. They are not a tech company. They don't have the major IT capabilities to handle it. Because all these technologies that we are talking about, right, physical and cyber physical, need a software driven model, right? It's more like a software driven model. And those models need a lot of technical knowledge and IT capabilities. SMBs may not even have the IT capabilities. So they need a simplification. They need a simple tool to understand that easily, right? They need something, they don't need to spend technical things, but they just need a simple configuration stuff. They are intelligent enough, but they need a simple configuration stuff to accommodate it. And that is that simplification. We need to do that on the technology side of that. And the last one is creating the awareness. That's most significant because cost effective is one side we do that, simplification we do that. But what if we are not creating the awareness? The most important thing also is to create awareness and then take the awareness to them. Put a lot of effort in the awareness, conducting sessions with them, going and meeting them and helping them to understand the technology, helping them to see how the world is changing and the way that they should adapt that. So creating awareness is the biggest one that we need to create, not only to the manufacturing leadership, but also to the workforce who is actually doing the work in the floor, right, in the manufacturing floor. So we need to go and educate them on how these technologies are going to help them to easy their life, right, and make it happen, and how they can operate from anywhere, even though physically they are not there. In the current pandemic, that's what educating us, right? Physically, we are not going to be there, but we still need to start operating our business, right, to survive on the market. So that is very, very important. So three key things that we need to work on. One is the cost-effective solution that we need to propose to provide to the SMBs. We also need to simplify the technology, and we need to create a significant awareness. This is where we are standing as a company. We clearly understand this, and we are standing as a company and created a platform and solutions explicitly to address the SMB market who need a cost-effective solution, who need a technology simplification, and we conduct a lot of sessions like these webinars. We conduct a lot of sessions as part of our academy program to go and create awareness on the industry. What's our portfolio to address this, right? Every business, right, in the industry, when you say SMBs or industries, every business is different. Within manufacturing itself, every manufacturing is different. And every business different, they follow unique process, unique need, and things like that. So we create a different bucket of solutions for a different business need. Fogwing is our brand of IoT solutions. And Fogwing is our enterprise cloud as well. This is the foundation cloud, which is completely, all our products are cloud-based platform and products. And where we have hosted our Industrial IoT platform. Any industrial company or startup or anybody who is addressing the SMB market or who is addressing the large companies also, who wants to build a solution, right? You want to build your own solution, come and build it in Industrial IoT platform. The Industrial IoT platform that we created, I will talk about that in the platform a little more deeper. It's more simple, comprehensive solutions platform available in the market. And on top of that, right, industrial IoT again, technology simplification, right? Not only the platform is simplified to use it, but what if somebody don't know how to use the platform itself, right? It's more of cyber physical, right? It's more of connecting to the physical. How do we connect to the physical? How do we connect the sensors? How do we connect the sensors and make the sensors to communicate to the cloud? So all these things are, still needed technical things. How do we simplify that? And that's where we started thinking and coming up with the SaaS solutions. Our SaaS solutions, IoT-based SaaS solutions, are like Echo or Agro, are more simplified solutions. It's just plug and play. You buy a device, you buy a DVD player, you buy your Alexa device, you plug into the power, and you just have a simple configuration screen where you just go and configure it. Then your system is up and running, your data is there in the cloud, you have a way to look at the data, right? That as simple as that. You don't need to worry about sensors, you need to worry about communication, you need to worry about cloud technology, infrastructure, analytics, artificial intelligence. Don't worry about all of that. Just to take the solution as it is, right? That's kind of a buy model, right? And that's where we provide yes, Fogwing, Echo and Agro, and our upcoming e-factory for the manufacturing is more going to be a plug and play platform solution where customer can just buy and use it. And that's the way we simplify the solution and make that solution available to our customers. These are small solutions that's going to help to 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 move into the industrial 4.0 transformation, right? And that's the way we are looking at it. We adding a small portion of stones to make this big transformation happens across the small industries or the medium-sized industry. How Fogwing, as a platform works. Fogwing is a cloud platform, fully cloud, and anyone can create an account. Anyone can subscribe to the account. Anyone can create a free account. And if you go there, you can create a free account, and you by default you will have access to connect up to 2 devices, and those 2 devices can be connected if there is no trial period, and you can always connect it, and you can use it for commercial purpose today. Even though it's a community license, you can still use it for commercial purpose. No limitations on that. But what is that bringing, right? Fogwing as a cloud platform has a way for your sensors to connect either through gateway or through direct connections like a 3G, 4G, or through low power LoRaWAN network. You can use any technologies, any communication network to connect to Fogwing. Fogwing is a device agnostic platform as well as the communication agnostic platform. So any way you can connect with that, and you can manage your device through Fogwing itself. So the device management is part of the platform itself. Not only that, it's not just about device management, it's also about storage, right? Storing the data properly, storing the data, securing the data. All of them is inbuilt with Fogwing. Fogwing storage is available. Fogwing inbuilt storage. Every data that's coming to the Fogwing has been stored internally, and the data can also be extracted. If you want to take the data out, you can take the data out. You can send the data to your own cloud or your own application systems or your MEA system or your ERP system, or you can use our application systems. Our application systems are running on our SaaS application systems are running on top of Fogwing platform itself, right? And it has an inbuilt storage data lake. It has a inbuilt machine learning process. Has inbuilt monitoring capability. Most significantly, it has a workflows to trigger that. IoT being seen as data collection part, right? Many years, but we started thinking that IoT is not just for data collection. IoT is also to control the machineries. Remote. We talked about remote manufacturing, right? And that required significant control mechanism, right? IoT can play a role in connecting because it's already connected to them. It's not just reading, it has to start understanding and connecting to the machines. That's where we started creating more workflows that can help us to communicate and automate the command execution or the data-driven automation processes with the help of our platform. So all of them are bundled together as a comprehensive one single platform. Customer need not go to multiple tools, multiple technologies and use it. All of them are as easy as accessible from our simple one portal, the web-based portal. The product comes with a lot of capabilities, as I talked about, storage capacity, the inbuilt data processing engine, supporting multiple data network, auditing capabilities, triggering commands, cloud integration to send the data to the cloud platform or to the MES system, even your operating system, right? So your operating system, you need the data, and you need metrics there, and you need dashboards there to see that how your business is performing. Your operational visibility dashboard has to be, to see the data in real time, right? All of them is facilitated by the Fogwing IoT architecture platform. Now, either your device is a wired network or wireless network, or it's a low power network. Still, you can connect all of them with a single step configuration. How Fogwing helps Industry 4.0. This is the foundation platform, right? Industrial IoT is the foundation for the Industry 4.0 transformation. So first thing is to connect to our physical systems, the cyber physical systems, right? And IoT is the core of the cyber physical system. And connect to your industry grade systems with the help of industry grade sensors that can connect to the cloud platforms, storage platforms. So Fogwing helps to connect to machineries through any protocol. Next, collect the data. Fogwing automatically collects the data and store it, so your data is not lost. All your data will be persisted in the cloud, regardless of that, right? And this is a second step, right? Once you connected, you need to understand. Once you need to collect it, your machine language, right? Machine speaking, machine emitting data, right? That you cannot lose the data. You have to have the data, even though it's a real-time data. The data has to be there somewhere for a historic analysis, right? And that's what the second phase of that. Collect the data and put it in your repository. By default, Fogwing handles that. Our users need not worry about that. The third one, significant one, is the analysis, right? You need to understand how the data is coming up, right? What is the trending happening, how the machine is performing, your device, that the sensor that you connected, how the sensor is performing, how the communication is happening. You need to understand all of them, right? So there are inbuilt querying mechanism within Fogwing, where you can go and query the data, and you can query that how the performance last 24 hours, last 7 days, last 30 days. You can query the data and extract the data and look at the reports. You want the data to be sent to your own dashboard or your own existing system. Many SMBs may not have that, but if you have that, you can still take the data out. You can even take the data out as simple as the Microsoft Excel sheet, right? That's the most common tool that's used by many operators. So you can still extract the data and then look at the data, how things are happening in your device. What data your device is sending is purely based on your sensors, right? The sensors send the data. Fogwing doesn't control any of the data or eliminate any data that's generated by sensor. Fogwing just accepts the data as it is and store it as it is. And it doesn't do any normalization, any cleaning process, because the data is the data, right? It has to be there before we do all the analysis. Only in the analysis phase you may filter it out. And on the last part, right, automation. This is the most differentiating part in our side, as we created a process that can send back the data, right? Fogwing comes with inbuilt data rules engine. The data rules engine can understand the data conditions at real time as soon as the data coming from your machineries, and that can trigger a automated command to that. Either you want to turn off your machinery, or you want to turn off your motor, you want to turn off your or turn on your factory fans, or you want to send some alarms, whatever it is, right? All these things can be triggered as a data driven, as the data comes into a platform. Fogwing can help to connect to the systems, devices, or the machineries or assets, to send the command and react on that, right? It can be done automatically. You don't need to worry about that. As long as you configure it, it's done by automatically in the Fogwing platform. So all of them is going to help us. Fogwing as a platform supports device management to automation completely. So how do we connect to the systems, right? So we work with our platform partners and help our industry grade customers. We are one of the provider of industry grade sensors and gateways that can connect to any SCADA, PLC, and sensor based systems, or even sensors, to collect the data and send the data remotely. No wiring required. Everything is wireless. Send the data to our cloud platform, and then significantly do the process in the cloud. So all the our industry grade sensors and gateways are equipped to handle high volume of data traffic that's created by the factory assets, and all the data can be processed in high speed in our industrial IoT platform. Not only that, our SDKs, Fogwing also provide edge SDKs. Those SDKs are embedded into our industry grade sensors or any devices that capable of handling that, can handle the volume of data locally and process it locally and trigger alerts locally. So it need not be coming all the way to the Fogwing until unless it is required, or even the abstract of the information can come to Fogwing cloud, but the data can be processed locally with the help of edge SDKs that we have created. And all of them is available as part of that to facilitate the SMBs at cost effectively to accommodate the Industry 4.0 challenges. With that, there are challenges in Industry 4.0. There is a need for Industry 4.0 at this post-pandemic situation, and we need to know how to control our business. We need to have a connection to our business. We need to manage the business remotely, and it is highly possible with the help of Industrial IoT Platform. And Fogwing has been working. We continually invest in building more and more features to help the SMB market to accommodate the technologies as easy as possible. Thank you so much. Over to you, Abhishek.
So, guys, as we have come closer to the end of the session, this would be the right time to ask questions. And I think, by the way, Hari, we have already received a couple of questions, so I'll shoot that to you right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, can small business afford to implement an IIoT system?
So that's a whole purpose, right? So yes, of course, in the large companies, of course, they can build. They have pretty large IT team to build in AWS, Azure, or anywhere. But the smaller SMBs they may not have that much capacities to do that. So it's the whole purpose that we are providing the Fogwing, very especially targeting to the SME market, small and medium businesses, where they don't need a IT skill set, they just need to understand the configuration. And even if they need a training part, right, we provide as part of our academic training program to help them to understand how the platform works and how easy it is to use it. So definitely SMBs can accommodate it, at least in the smaller scale, right? First step is to make sure you connect the sensors to your smaller or most critical assets first. At least collect the data. Then once you start seeing the data, then you will realize that, oh, this is how it's coming up, and this is very, very useful for me. Then you can scale it up. So you don't, SMBs need not be going in a mass scale model. They can go in a even simple model. And if they are not sure, they can leverage our Echo or Agro or even e-factory platform, right? As simple as that. So definitely yes, SMB can definitely accommodate it with the help of Fogwing, and that's the whole objective of us to providing this platform.
Okay, and the next question: do you think LoRaWAN technology is important for an SMP?
So in terms of the communication, right? In terms of the IoT communication, either low power LoRaWAN or 3G, higher 4G or 5G network, it's all applied to use case by use case. It's not something that we can directly answer it like is necessary for SMB or not, or is it useful for Industry 4.0 or not. It's purely based on the type of data that we are sending and how frequently we are sending, right? If it is in a remote place, definitely LoRaWAN is a significant one, playing a major role in connecting and sending in a low power situation. Whereas if it is in a highly manufacturing sector, where the power is not a problem, then it can definitely they can use other technologies, even the wired network, right? A wired network or Wi-Fi network, they can use it to send the data. So it's purely based on the use cases, purely based on where the implementation is happening and how frequently the data is communicating. But traditionally, in the manufacturing industries, we need data to be coming at a rapid speed, and where the power is not a big problem because manufacturing are already equipped with power equipments, right? So in that case, definitely high-speed traffic systems where LoRaWAN may not be necessary because it is not that low power situation there. But again, we need to go by use case by use case.
Thank you. Thank you, Hari. And one more question. Can you give some used cases and how cost effective it was for the SMB?
Sure. So one of the case, right? So let's take, you are a manufacturer. Let's take, you are a manufacturer of some plastic-based product, and you are concerned about your, power consumption, right? Your machinery power consumptions. As simple as that. There are, power current flow sensors are there. There are pretty cheap sensors also available. There are significant high-end sensors also available. The cost varies from sensor to sensor. As simple as that, you take the sensor, you put it in your simple connectivity device, and then you collect the data. The cost probably around, if you just say this use case, right? Just to want to measure the consumption of power, right? By my machineries. Why we need to consider the power consumption? Because that's the way we can understand how long the machine is running, right? If the machine is consuming power, the machine is running, and we can significantly understand that, okay, this is the way that machine is consuming the power. It may increase the consumption rate while working, while operating, or while idle state, but we can also measure that data with the help of current sensors. Now, in these use cases, you can simply as simple as that. If you are equipped, your factory is equipped with wireless network or wired network, you can use a wired device and then this sensor and send the data as simple as less than $100, right? You can send the data to Fogwing Cloud, and where you can look at the power consumption, you can consolidate the data, and you can see that how much my power consumption in the month. My asset one or machine one consumed 3000 volt, and then my other system consumed less than that, or whatever measurement that you want to say that you can track it up. It's as simple as that. But true value, if you want to see the end to end of the value, then you need to put in a major critical junctions where you want to measure the data in your manufacturing process, so that we have not only the power consumption rate, but you also have the production rate, right? You need to have other data sets to correlate that and then come up with the overall equipment efficiency or overall throughput efficiency and things like that. Those kind of metrics you can come out with it. Hopefully it's answered.
Okay, thank you, Ari. Any more questions?
Any questions? If you have any questions, post up this, or if you are watching this video, this webinar video in our YouTube channel, you can shoot our questions to our general questions info@factor.com. We continuously monitor this email address, and we are sending a lot of questions to that. So even if you are not, if you don't have a question now, but later point, if you are having any questions, please free to send it to us by email, and we can definitely address it. Right.
Okay. So once again, thank you for joining the webinar. As said, we will be having a recorded version of this webinar in our YouTube channel. You can go there and check anytime. That's for your reference. So we will be connecting again next month with another webinar. So stay safe. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.